Gosh, hiya. Can you believe it? October. I mean, where is the time going? Well, I've had a busy month already. I've started my Open University course in youth services, and it is really interesting. We're learning about the different areas that you can work towards and some of the most common problems and how to deal with them. Apparently, there's been a huge increase in mental health issues. But I mean, given the last 18 months, it's hardly surprising, is it? We're also learning about what you can and can't say when a child talks to you in case it jeopardises a case that might end up in court. You can't seem to have led the conversation. I mean, there's so much more to this than I'd thought about. Well, I've decided once I've learnt a bit more, I would really like to try and get into a school to do some observation. And my own life, well, I finally met Dave's mum, and I am pleased to report that we got on really well. Do you know, I think she's going to get on well with my dad. Both caring and easygoing. I do think she's going to find mum a bit scatty, though. Then again, I can sympathise with that assessment. We met in a coffee shop in town, and I think Dave wanted his mum's approval before I met Kenny. Well, I must have passed the test because the following day I was invited over for tea to meet him. Oh my gosh, I was so nervous. I can't remember the last time I felt so nervous. What if he didn't like me? Worse, what if I didn't like him? I had nothing to worry about. We got on great. We played a few board games, and he absolutely thrashed me in top trumps, which ended up in a lot of laughter and tickling when I found out that he had been cheating. Oh, it just all felt so natural. Well, he then decided to make me a picture for my fridge, and I am pleased to report that not a single piece of glitter was used. It was coming up to his bedtime, so I thought it best if I left. Kenny came running up to me, gave me a big hug and said, "I hope you and Daddy stay friends. You're lots of fun." Oh, I could have cried. Anyway, Dave then told him that we were going to go to a theme park on the weekend, along with my sister and my nieces. Kenny was so excited. Dave saw me out and said that he'd had such a lovely evening. So had I. Dave was so pleased that we'd all got on so well. About a day or so later, I had an engineer round. They were updating my broadband. Well, we got chatting, as you do, and we discovered that we both knew a character who visits a lot of the local pubs. Well, we started joking and laughing about some of his antics when my doorbell went, and it was Dave. I answered it, and he just wasn't his usual relaxed, easygoing self, which did make me think all was not well. Anyway, when the engineer left, Dave started quizzing me about him. This was a bit odd, but I thought I can't dwell on it because we need to discuss the theme park visit. I thought it was only right that I actually admit that I'm terrified of heights, and the thought of being thrown about makes me feel sick. In fact, this was all Izzy's doing. If it was up to me, I would have organised a very different activity for us all. Well, Dave laughed and said, "Don't worry, I'll look after you." So on the Saturday, Dave picked us up in his 7-seater, and the girls were introduced to Kenny, and they hit it off straight away. The three of them were screaming in the back, singing along to Dave's CDs and shouting, "Next!" when a song came on that they didn't like or didn't know. Well, by the time we got to the theme park, I was already feeling sick, and I mean, we hadn't even been on anything. The kids all started shouting about what ride they wanted to go on first, but I suggested that we should go and meet the animals first, especially because it was almost time to meet the lemurs. Thankfully, everyone agreed. However, the inevitable soon came and we started walking towards the roller coasters. Then Kira starts tugging on my arm, saying that she's really scared and she doesn't want to go on any of the roller coasters. Oh, well, Izzy was getting quite wound up and said to her to stop being so silly. But poor Kira had tears in her eyes, so I saw my opportunity. I told the four of them to go off and have fun, and that me and Kira would find some less scary rides for her to go on. We found one which just bobbed up and down on the water. Perfect. I also found a couple for her to go on her own. One was riding a dinosaur and the other one was riding a train round the track. Then we met back up with everyone, and Dave and Izzy were laughing a lot as they were soaked from the water flume. I have to say it rattled me a bit because I could see that Izzy was flirting and Dave was enjoying it. Anyway, as we walked along to get our lunch, I quizzed Dave about it. He whispered to me, "Well, now you know how I felt about the engineer." Then he pulled me in close and said there was nothing for me to worry about and that we were clearly on the same page in our feelings for each other. And then he gave me a kiss. Oh my gosh, I mean, if he had said to me there and then that we were going on the highest ride in the world, I would have followed him. As it turned out, we got on a cable car and went to another part of the theme park. Oh, we got off at this ride where you go round and you have to shoot the ghosts. Kenny came and sat next to me, held my hand and said, "In case you're afraid, Josie." Well, it turned out that I was actually really good at it and I had the highest score. So I was then volunteered to throw the beanbags at the tins. Turns out I was good at that as well. Well, I won the girls a teddy bear and a lion. And believe it or not, I won Kenny a koala bear. Oh, we had such a lovely day. It was a very quiet ride home. Well, when we got back, Kenny asked me if I'd go out with him on Halloween so that I could chase away all the ghosts. Then he gave me a big hug and a kiss. So did his dad. I felt great. I think Halloween's going to be a lot of fun, but just going to have to wait and see. Cheers.